Look at it here, the weight. They both made 170. Throw that right out the window like we talked about. Douglas Lima, the much heavier fighter tonight.
The only way to begin the main event is with Michael C. Williams.
Live on Spike, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from Mohegan Sun. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds for the Bellator Welterweight World Championship. Sanctioned by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation. Chairman is Kevin Brown. Tribal Chief Lynn Malerva. At cage side supervising Mike Mazzulli and Mike Murtha. Tonight's title fight is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And now, we introduce first the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170 pounds even tonight. In his second challenge for a world title, he stands near perfect as a professional with 17 victories, just one defeat, hailing from and fighting out of Omsk, Russia. Introducing the challenger, Andrey Koreshkov. And across the cage, the champion tonight fights out of the red corner at 6'1", weighing in 170 pounds. Tonight, he makes his first title defense. He brings 26 professional victories, just 5 defeats. Originally from Goiânia, Goiás, Brazil, he fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, the defending Bellator welterweight world champion, Douglas the Phenom Lima. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Kevin McDonald.
Fighters to the center, please. All right, gentlemen, this is 5 rounds under the unified rules of mixed martial arts for the welterweight title. I want a good, clean fight. Any questions from the challenger? Any questions from the champion? If you want touch gloves, come out swinging.
Jimmy, your keys.
For the challenger, Andrey Koreshkov. Stay off the ground. Also, use that jab. We talked about the lead hand. He's very effective with it. Keep Lima at a distance. For the champ, Douglas the Phenom Lima. Leg kick early. Get it started in the first round. Also, mix in the takedown. He has great jiu-jitsu.
It is all about the welterweight world title. The wait is over.
Ready to fight? Let's go!
Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. You got that right. Koreshkov throws that spinning back kick a lot.
Yeah, he does great at establishing range with it, great at pushing opponents back. Make no mistake, both these guys have that Cobra Kai attitude. We do not train to be merciful here. Mercy is for the weak. If they see an opening, they're going to take their opponent out. Both guys are great at it.
You couldn't go the whole night without dropping that in.
I could not.
Well, Douglas Lima doesn't sweep the leg. He kicks the leg, and he kicks it hard.
Until you cannot walk.
Watch the back of his head, keep it high.
Normally we'd say watch the leg kicks of Lima. Tonight, listen for the leg kicks of Lima. It makes an unbelievable sound.
Koreshkov going in for a takedown. Really surprised by this. I don't think we've ever seen him do this before. And he's going to get it.
This is a shocking start.
Now, I have trained with Koreshkov. I have rolled with him. He's about purple belt level. He's got good, solid fundamentals, but doesn't have the experience on the ground of Douglas Lima.
These two have been dominant over the last 3 years, with one exception. Each suffered a similar loss to Ben Askren on the ground. On paper, the thinking is that Lima's ground game is better.
Right, but if he can, keep Lima grounded, keep him on the bottom, land some ground and pound, stay safe. What he doesn't want is Douglas Lima on top of him.
And it also, Jimmy, this saves him from those leg kicks piling up in the early rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it close, make it a clinch fight early. Also remember, he's had 15 months off. Could be trying to flip the script and take advantage of a little bit of ring rust. He's doing well with the takedown.
Koreshkov's 10th fight in the Bellator cage. You can count on one hand the number of takedowns he's compiled in those 9 fights.
Already got 2. Trying to pass guard to the right side. Lima doing a good job of keeping guard, but not getting the space to pop back to his feet. There it is. Lima has been taken by surprise so far.
No question.
Might be seeing a little of that ring rust with the time off, with the knee surgeries. Looks like he's having a little trouble finding his timing, finding his offense.
Where would ring rust manifest itself?
Early in the fight, first round, second round, kind of remembering how to do it, because training's great. There's nothing like actual competition.
Both are 2-time Bellator tournament winners. There's the big kick.
Power behind that leg kick. Took Koreshkov right off his feet. Good right hand. Talked about timing and offense. He's starting to find it, I think. That's something Lima does not want to do at the end of exchanges, is drop his hands. Koreshkov has deceptive range, especially with that lead hand.
Lima's settled in now.
And that leg kick really worked. Woke Koreshkov up. Kind of put him on the defensive, not coming forward like he was early in the round. That's the difference in their kicking styles. Koreshkov tends to throw kicks like that. They come from funky angles and long range. Lima throws head kicks and leg kicks, and that's about it.
Lima's are high percentage and they pile up.
Yep.
Another takedown, single leg this time.
Going for the high crotch, but Lima ending up on his butt.
Koreshkov flipping the script on everybody.
Probably hasn't done a whole lot once he's been on top. Hasn't really been able to pass guard, hasn't landed real effective ground and pound.
10 seconds.
A surprising start for Andrey Koreshkov here, challenging for the welterweight world title. And if Douglas Lima had ring rust, had cage rust, the longer this goes, you think the better for the champion.
All right, guys, let's go.
What'd you think of round 1?
Very hard to score. Do you credit the grappling of Koreshkov or the striking of Lima? I'm going with the striking of Lima, just because Koreshkov got the takedowns but didn't do a whole lot with them. 10-9 Douglas Lima.
Koreshkov changed the narrative of what we thought the first round would be, but Lima was more effective.
Yeah, I think so. But it's something Lima now has to keep in mind. He thought this was going to be a striking battle, and Koreshkov has clearly been working on his takedown. He has to respect it. Good shot by Koreshkov, catching Lima coming in.
Was that opening strategy a chess move to set up the rest of the fight?
That could have been. Certainly could have been. Make Lima think about the takedown, maybe overreact to the takedown, and land his strikes.
It's almost unfathomable that both of these guys got on the scale at 170 yesterday when you look at Lima.
They're both massive. Lima, of course, exceptionally massive. He's the bigger fighter tonight.
CompuStrike numbers backing up the way you saw round 1.
That's that lead hand I was talking about. So good at keeping range. Lima's got to find a way around that to set up his power shots. Koreshkov always keeps that right hand glued to his chin.
It's so rare to see a fighter with 12 knockouts and 11 submissions. Nice throw.
For the takedown, now in the guillotine position. Not committing his hips yet. Nice step over into half guard, almost into full mount.
Why make that choice?
Because he knew he wasn't going to get the guillotine, wasn't in proper hip position. Better to take the position than lose it going for a submission. That's the difference between low-level and high-level jiu-jitsu. You know when it's done.
It's easy to forget Lima is a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Not able to keep Koreshkov down, though. I'm surprised how much Lima is moving straight backward. He's kept his back to the fence a lot in this fight. Not really circling, not really cutting angles. Under attack, he's moved straight back. That's never good. Just like this.
You can almost see the mind of Koreshkov looking for an opening. It just isn't there.
Right. He's also, both guys have so much respect for the finishing power of the other. Neither guy wants to make a mistake.
Will the difference be all those leg shots, those strikes that Lima has landed?
Cut through the guard.
Strong right, and another. You start to see the red on the forehead of Koreshkov for the first time. Lima is picking his spot in that spinning back kick. He's waiting. Koreshkov hasn't come close to hitting that yet. Whose advantage on the fence?
Right now, I would say it's Koreshkov because he's the one pressing forward. To the judges, he's the one going for the takedown. He's the one being the aggressor.
Look at the strength.
Man. But look at the balance of Douglas Lima. Trying to cut around and take the back, can't do it. And it's Koreshkov on top.
To the closed guard.
Of all the things that Douglas Lima expected tonight from Andrey Koreshkov, I do not think this was one of them. Lima not working that hard for submissions right now. I think he's content to let this round run out.
Not the fight we expected. That we can say for sure through the first two rounds. Round 3 of the welterweight world title fight begins. Not what we expected. How do you see it through 2?
I have it all even. I gave Koreshkov the last round, 10-9. Lima really yet to find his offensive rhythm.
Is he being too patient?
I don't know if it's patience or if it's ring rust. He's just waiting to get his timing back, waiting for it to feel natural. It's Koreshkov, you see, starting to warm up, starting to get confident.
Going to be a lot of discussion when this one is over about the strategy of Koreshkov in that first round. Go for takedown after takedown. That's the last thing anyone thought was coming. Lima a little more effective at range here in round 3.
He's staying behind the jab. Koreshkov is coming forward. He's trying to hit him with the jab. Nice right hand by Koreshkov.
Wondering, Lima's been knocked out once, but that was back in 2007. He hasn't been stopped since 2008. He's won 14 of his last 15, including the welterweight world title win 15 months ago against Rick Hahn.
I'm amazed how easy these takedowns have been. Koreshkov not known for his wrestling, but the defense just hasn't been there for Douglas Lima.
How much time in Douglas Lima's camp do you think was spent worrying about takedown defense?
Probably none, or very little. Probably what he would do in his normal training. Someone is cut. I see some blood. Can't see exactly where it's coming from.
It's Koreshkov. It's his nose.
We were going to see a takedown in this fight. I would have bet it would have been Douglas Lima.
Hello, guys.
Nice sweep. Beautiful job by Douglas Lima. Koreshkov, though, goes right back to that takedown. Tenacious.
A surprising strategic approach that's been surprisingly effective.
Koreshkov keeping a lot of pressure, not giving Lima space to go for the guillotine. Could be Koreshkov's strategy, too, to drag this into the later rounds. Keep it close, control the pacing, stay away from the power of Lima, and work in rounds 4 and 5. Right now, he is frustrating Lima with this attack.
Referee Kevin McDonald separating. Both men have gone into the deep water once, both in their title fights with Ben Askren.
Really surprised at the activity level of Douglas Lima. He's doing a lot of waiting, not a lot of punching.
Judges watching that too. As we move into the later stages of round 3 of what clearly is a very close championship fight.
Another high crotch takedown. Wrist control. Controlling the arm. In position to step over for the triangle, but Koreshkov put too much pressure on him. There's the triangle, but Koreshkov not having it.
Koreshkov has been one step ahead in the chess match. You said when he walked into the cage, it looked like he was getting ready to go play chess. That's how this is playing out.
Gotta be one move ahead. If you're not, you're one move behind. It's the other sport Russians are great at.
Let's go, guys.
You know, you can make a case. If Bellator fans at home thought the first round went to Koreshkov, you can make a case that he is down. Douglas Lima down 3 rounds to none. He might be in the territory where he needs a finish.
Stop. Clean break. Okay, we're good. Thank you. It's all right. Back there. We're good. Back there.
Michael Page, Brennan Ward, and Paul Daly all have knockout wins tonight to claim their place in line. And it was Paul Semtex Daly who told him, he told us the other day, everyone's sleeping on Koreshkov here. He picked him to win this fight. Through 3, how have you got it?
I have it 2 rounds to 1 for Andrey Koreshkov. Remember the first round, very, very close. That could have gone to Koreshkov as well. The last 2 rounds, solidly for Andrey Koreshkov. You just feel the confidence of Andrey Koreshkov now.
Now he's back in his more comfortable striking stance. And Lima wasn't able to land all those body blow leg kicks that add up.
Right, and you need them in rounds 1 and 2. That's not a strategy you want to start late in the fight. Body blows and leg kicks, you want to put money in the bank early. He did not do that. Lima, last couple rounds, has only thrown the jab, no power punches. Right hand has been cocked, but he hasn't been throwing it. He's had problems with the right hand in the past. Could be bothering him now because he is not using it at all. That's his major weapon on the feet. Brutal kick. Crowd reacting to that one. We could all hear it, we could all feel it.
And yet another takedown.
Easy one.
they're getting easier as the fight goes on.
Yep. It's a reaching takedown. He's literally just reaching down and grabbing a quick high crotch. Not even changing his level, not committing his hips.
Koreshkov tried the pass guard on the right, then on the left, and couldn't do it on either side.
And Koreshkov not staying super busy on top, not trying to land huge ground and pound. He's staying close, he's staying safe. Taking minutes away from the championship of Douglas Lima. Taking a page out of Ben Askren's book. Take away the physical advantages, take away the power advantage, the size advantage by putting him on his back and keeping him there.
Andrey Koreshkov's fight against Ben Askren, after which he said, "I'm not afraid to lose anymore once you lose. It made me stronger." It may have made him smarter.
Beautiful sweep, though, by Douglas Lima. He's on top, but can he stay there? I don't think he can. Another easy single leg by Koreshkov. More than just the takedowns is the fact that Koreshkov isn't having to expend a whole lot of energy to get them. He's getting them easily.
Well, the frustration has to be mounting for the champion now.
Douglas Lima looking discouraged. To the point where he might need a miracle comeback to win this fight. He has the power to do it, but we haven't seen the position to do it so far in this fight. Hasn't been on his feet long enough and hasn't been able to keep top position. Every time he gets a sweep, it's back to this single leg.
We're a minute away from the champion being down 3-1 and needing a knockout.
Look at that, wow. Easy takedown. Douglas Lima flailing away with both hands. That's not going to do anything in this position.
Stop! Let's go! Up! Come on. Up, up, up! Up!
That would be the best thing that could happen for Lima, but we're so late in the round.
Turn around! 10 seconds!
Koreshkov can just let the round run out. Might do just that.
Guys, let's do it!
The road less traveled has been taken by Andrey Koreshkov here tonight. But that road could have him 5 minutes away from the world title.
If you're Douglas Lima, you're in exactly the position you don't want to be. Your opponent can take the round off, can play it safe. Lima's the one who has to push forward. Lima's the one who has to look for the finish. So far, he hasn't even come close.
We've seen a few of the spinning back kicks. We just saw the spinning back fist from Koreshkov. Those are usually a heavy part of his arsenal, but not tonight.
Lima finally throwing the right hand in this 5th round. The leg kick that was so effective in his last fight has been virtually a non-factor. The right hand that has spelled the doom of so many fighters has been a virtual non-factor. Needs to get it going now because right now Koreshkov is walking away with it.
Confidence gaining every minute for Koreshkov. Keep in mind the number I told you, Jimmy. He had 4 takedowns in 9 Bellator fights entering this one.
And he's 7 of 11 in this fight. Unbelievable. Now, when I talked about the beginning of this fight, it's Koreshkov that is lethal with the lead hand. Douglas Lima generally relies on his power shot, but it's been jab after jab by the champion. That just hasn't been his money punch in previous fights.
If Lima's feeling urgency, he's not showing.
No, he is not.
That welterweight title that he worked so hard to get is beginning to slip away as Koreshkov gaining confidence here along the fence.
You know, we talked about the size, we talked about the weight cut. Could that be catching up to him tonight? There's a disadvantage to being the bigger guy in the cage. We might be seeing those effects.
It's the second time in 32 fights Lima has gone to the championship rounds, and the only other time he did, he lost.
And in these clinches, when it's even, both guys have an underhook, for example, we should see the power advantage of Lima, the strength advantage, and we're not seeing it.
Lima is still moving as he did in round one.
More and more of a target, throwing the occasional jab that will not turn this fight around.
Instead, it is Koreshkov who lands with that left.
Oh, nice right over the top. That's Lima's the one hanging on. This we did not expect. Trying to tie up the arms. Koreshkov happy to go back to the clinch. He's got a minute and a half left. He's the champ.
A long and storied history of Russian MMA. Andrey Koreshkov takes that on his own shoulders, and he is 73 seconds away from the world title.
Now look at the distance between his head and his hands in this single leg. Normally, you would never get a takedown with something like that, but he's been able to get it against Lima this entire fight.
Lima looking for one shot.
The problem is he's fighting a guy who knows that Lima is looking for the one shot, and he's prepared.
Strong left by Koreshkov. Lima caught him diving in for yet another takedown. This is where this fight was not supposed to take place. Koreshkov took it there, and he's trying to survive now the final few seconds after fighting a brilliant fight.
And he will.
It's in the hands of the judges now, but Andrey Koreshkov fought a brilliant fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, we'll go to your three cage-side judges. Your first judge, Brian Miner, scores the fight 48-47. Your second and third judges, David Torelli and Eric Colon, both see the fight the same at 50-45. All three for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the new Bellator welterweight world champion, Andrey Spartan Koreshkov.
The pride of Russian MMA is back. A spectacular performance, an unexpected performance, and the new welterweight world champion is standing by with Jimmy Smith.
Andrey, you're usually not an emotional guy, but tell me about the feelings, the emotions of having this flag and this belt together.
Обычно ты не отличаешься эмоциональностью, но сейчас видно, что ты очень рад. Расскажи, что для тебя значит получить этот пояс.
Ну, для начала этот пояс получил не я, а его получили мы. Наша команда во главе с Александром Шлеменко и его школой «Шторм». Мы выиграли, мы забрали этот пояс. И я очень рад, что я не подвел своих друзей, свою команду, свою семью. Вот.
It's not my belt, it's our belt, my team belt. My head coach's belt, Alexander Shlemenko, his Storm School. I did it for my family, for my fans, for my friends, for everybody. I didn't disappoint anybody.
My question for you, this was a showcase for the 170-pounders tonight. A lot of guys in line for this title. What's your message to them?
Сегодня выступало много ребят в твоем весе. Что бы ты хотел им сказать? Какой твой месседж для них?
Я ко всем отношусь нормально. И если они уважают меня, я буду уважать их. Пожелаю им только удачи для того, чтобы добраться до этого тайтл-шота.
I respect everyone who respects me. So I just wish them good luck to get close to this belt, and then we'll see.
Well, your winner and the new champion, Andrey Spartan Koreshkov. Give it up for him.
He is 24 years old. He is 18-1, and he is the welterweight world champion.
The tail of the tape in the main event for the welterweight world title. Two fighters intimately familiar with one another.
And one of the big differences, Douglas Lima walks at about 210. He has a serious cut to get to 170.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bellator MMA presented tonight by Miller Lite on Spike from Tel Aviv. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds, the rematch for the Bellator Welterweight World Championship. Sanctioned by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation Chairman is Kevin Brown. Tribal Chief Lynn Malerba supervising at cage side ABC President Mr. Mike Mazzulli. Tonight's world title fight is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. It's Miller time. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170 pounds even, the former Bellator welterweight world champion brings an impressive professional record of 27 wins with 6 defeats. From Goiânia, Goiás, Brazil, he fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, presenting the challenger, Douglas the Phenom Lima. And across the cage, the champion tonight fights out of the red corner. At 6'1", weighing in 169.8 pounds. In his second defense of the title, he stands near perfect as a professional with 19 wins, just 1 defeat. Hailing from Omsk, Russia, introducing the defending Bellator welterweight world champion, Andrey Spartan Koreshkov. In charge of the action, your referee, Dan Mergliata.
Okay, gentlemen, we've been through the rules in the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all time. I want you to protect yourselves at all time. If you want to touch gloves for luck, do it now. Best of luck to both of you.
A defining moment for these two begins now. The story of the first fight was a simple one. Everyone expected Koreshkov to stay on his feet. He immediately took Douglas Lima to the ground over and over again and out-wrestled him to win the world title.
One weapon that was conspicuously absent for Douglas Lima was the leg kick. He has devastating leg kicks. He didn't trust his knee and hardly threw it.
Douglas Lima won the world title with a series of devastating leg kicks that just chopped Rick Hahn down. He earned this title shot by beating Paul Daly in London in July and scored a big early shot in that fight to turn the tide.
When you look at Koreshkov's win over Benson Henderson, what really stood out to me is that against a quick 55er, he didn't look slow. He looked fast against a fast guy, against a natural 55er.
Now can his power match a much bigger guy in Douglas Lima?
That's the question in a nutshell. Speed and accuracy combinations versus raw power, because that's what Lima has.
When you see these spinning kicks and these spinning back fists of Koreshkov, remember who his coach is, Alexander Shlemenko, who has mastered them. Alexander Shlemenko, we said, was still under suspension in April when Koreshkov fought Ben Henderson. He was not allowed at the cage. They were trying to communicate between his translator, Alexei, with Shlemenko, who was in the crowd. Instead of throw him off, he said he would have knocked Ben Henderson out if everything had been the way he was supposed to. Douglas Lima goes in, and Koreshkov ducks the shot and gets him to the ground.
Can't keep him there.
No.
Nice sweep back to his feet. He didn't do that in the first
He
fight
was not
at all.
physically able to do that in the first fight.
Now, a big question in this fight is, we talk about the cut for Lima, we talk about the size, we talk about the power. With his size, can he go a hard 5 rounds? Is he just not built for a long fight? And also he relies a lot on that power hand. He's not a guy who uses the jab, uses the left very much. He's a right-handed fighter.
The first message sent by Douglas Lima to Koreshkov that I'm not the same guy I was in July of 2015.
But one thing is, Koreshkov isn't fighting like he's the same guy. He set it up with strikes. He had an opportunity for the takedown. He wasn't going for it like he did in the first fight.
Supporting the Dan Miragliotta restart. Boy, he delivers that quick.
So fast.
And because of sort of the worldwide, you want to call it disrespect, you can. The idea that Andrey Koreshkov still doesn't appear in some people's top 5 or their top 10, which is absurd.
Absurd.
But it's something that Andrey Koreshkov can use. Like, what else does he have to do? 19-1, he's dominated everybody. Ask him who he would love to fight more than anybody else in the world. It's Ben Askren, because he wants that loss back. He was just 22 when he fought that fight. He wasn't prepared to fight a world-class wrestler at that time. He would love more than anything to fight Ben Askren again, which I'm sure is now sending Ben Askren to social media.
Would expect nothing less. You see that leg kick, it was effective. It hurt the lead leg of Andrey Koreshkov. Andrey Koreshkov, a lot of times, has a kind of a boxing style. He relies on being able to put pressure on that lead leg. He's very good with the lead hand. In order to use that, a lot of times you need the lead leg to plant effectively. He knocked down Marius Saronfkas with a jab. Incredible power in that snapping lead jab. And Lima, you can see, pushes behind the jab because he's setting up the right hand. He hardly ever flicks it out. It's like that Larry Holmes stiff kind of jab. That's what he loves.
Easton assassin.
You can explain who Larry Holmes is to all the kids out there.
They have Google. They have Wikipedia.
One of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Thank you.
He had the misfortune of being heavyweight champion after Muhammad Ali.
But known for his jab, maybe
Yes.
the best in heavyweight history. But it had that pushing kind of jab, and he snapped your head back. Lima pushes off the jab. He doesn't snap it. It's really just a setup.
Koreshkov got the early takedown. Lima got it back to the feet.
See the changes, you see the differences. Douglas Lima willing to throw that leg kick. Was able to get up from the takedown. Things he couldn't do in the first fight, but Koreshkov still accurate, still rangy, still throwing combinations.
Douglas Lima in there right now is probably, what, 20 pounds bigger than Ben Henderson was, at least?
Easy, easy. That guy's a giant. Look at the knee of Koreshkov. That left knee is red. Keeps going. That hurt him. That hurt him.
You saw by the way he reacted and stepped back.
What this does is it puts money in the bank. Maybe round 1 and 2 you can walk on it. 3, 4, 5 you can't put any pressure on it.
It takes away some of that power.
Especially the lead hand.
Lima walking Koreshkov down a little bit.
Basic rule of thumb, the lead hand is the power for the left hook, it's the power for the jab. The right hand, the power is behind the right foot. You can take away that lead leg, you can take away the lead hand as well.
How devastating can that be? We saw Patricio Pitbull walk away from a fight with Ben Henderson when a kick of his got checked. Big shots from Lima. Koreshkov stays safe. Keep an eye on that front leg. Again, Lima Continues to chop at.
One thing to keep in mind, in close rounds, a lot of judges aren't educated about the leg kick. It's a devastating weapon, but not a lot of them score them as effective strikes. They should.
Shot from Koreshkov. And again, this is not an injured Douglas Lima that Koreshkov just took down for the second time. Remember that number I gave you earlier. Koreshkov, his entire Bellator career, had 1 takedown. 1 before the first fight with Lima. He scored 4 in that fight, and this is 2 here.
Good place to get back to his feet. Up against the fence, try and get his hips underneath and pop back to his feet. The problem in this position is Koreshkov spends a lot of time keeping Lima down, doesn't get his own ground and pound going. Good job getting his hips close.
Koreshkov showed it so determined.
Angling for the triangle, couldn't get it.
So determined to show he has this part of the game too. But you wonder how much of this down here was by necessity because of that leg, all those leg kicks.
There's a little more desperation on that takedown than we saw in the first fight.
And yet he's been the aggressor here.
Certainly has. This allows him to earn points in close rounds too.
Could be looking at a situation where Douglas Lima hurt Koreshkov, but he could be down 2-0 anyway. Again, the moment of this round, Jimmy, was the leg kick that clearly hurt Koreshkov, but Koreshkov's going to win the round.
Certainly will. Facing that ground and pound yet again.
He's not done. Koreshkov taking advantage of the final seconds of round 2, and that elbow got in over the top. 6 straight wins after the Ben Askren fight. And the title win over Douglas Lima, and the shutout of Ben Henderson in April. And a real interesting debate when this fight is over, regardless of how it ends, is who is next for the welterweight world champion, whether it's Koreshkov or Lima. Rory McDonald is waiting in the wings. See, Jimmy, both of us have Koreshkov up 2-0. Despite those leg kicks he took early in round 2, and now Koreshkov's starting to open up a little bit.
First round was very close. The reason I gave it to Koreshkov was his activity. Just threw a little bit more than Lima. Could be tied up. All the physical attributes and technical attributes a fighter can have, the two that don't go very well together are power and volume. Guys that hit really hard don't tend to throw that much. That's what we're seeing here from Lima. He's a power puncher. He's just not as busy as Andrey Koreshkov.
You have to look quickly and carefully, but you can tell Koreshkov is hurting, as any human being would be. And now big shots.
Good shots. Good left hand.
Koreshkov is down. He's in trouble, and it's over. It happened. Douglas Lima, after a 16-month wait, through rehab, through hell to get back to this spot, takes Andrey Koreshkov's best shots, and in one moment has regained the welterweight world title.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the end comes suddenly. 1 minute, 21 seconds into round number 3 by knockout. He is the new and now two-time Bellator welterweight world champion, Douglas Lima.
Jimmy, he wasn't ready to get off the train. He's ready to lead it again. And the new welterweight world champion, Douglas Lima, is with Matt Mitrione.
Diego, Douglas, absolutely incredible. What an incredible fight. Your low kicks had an incredible result. But first of all, let's talk about fighting in front of this crowd. How amazing was that?
I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. It was an honor. It was an honor fighting here in front of you. Before anything, man, I just wanna thank God for this win. You know, I'm just blessed to be here, healthy. You know, having 2 legs under me. Júlia, Davi, foi pra você, papai te ama. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it was funny. Yes, perfect. It was perfect. So, how's it feel to get your belt back, brother? That was yours. How's it feel?
Feels great. Man, well, ever since I came to Bellator, that's my main goal, is to be a champion. Koreshkov, man, is a heck of an opponent. You know, it's an honor for me to compete against him one more time. I just want to thank Bellator for the opportunity, you know, and let's keep on going.
All right, so the most important question, let's keep it going. Who are we asking for next?
Well, I don't want to call anybody out, but I always want to fight the biggest name. I know Warren McDonough just signed. You know, I love the opportunity to fight him. You know, it can be Brazil, Canada, States, here again, wherever.
Sounds great. Douglas Lima, everybody, your new welterweight Bellator champion.
It is being hailed as the toughest tournament in MMA history. It is the opening round of the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix, pitting former champion against former champion in this, their trilogy fight. Bring on Lima versus Koreshkov 3.
Look at those records, 29-7, 21-2. Incredible athletes. The reach difference of 3 inches could be the difference in this fight for Koreshkov.
Good to have Josh Rosenthal back as a referee as we get set.
Expect a clean fight, obey my commands all times, defend yourselves all times. Touch gloves if you want now, let's do this.
5 5-minute rounds. Opening round of the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix. Douglas Lima. Andrey Koreshkov.
Gentlemen, you ready? You ready? Let's fight.
The bell and the rubber match begins. The stakes are high here as the winner will advance to face the victor of the much anticipated grudge match between the UK's Paul Daly and MVP Michael Venom Page. But this is about now. Lima in the red gloves, Koreshkov in the blue, and you know for Lima, the game plan is attack those legs with his ferocious kicks.
He has got some of the hardest kicks in MMA.
Oh, there
Look
you
at
go.
that kick right there. You can see Koreshkov came out in a southpaw stance.
Wow, spinning
there you
kick
go.
by Koreshkov.
That's the first spinning technique that's ever touched Douglas Lima from Koreshkov.
And you know Koreshkov's trainer, Alexander Shlemenko, known for his ostentatious spinning attack, smiled when that landed.
Well, that's where Koreshkov has learned that from. And it is interesting to see that Koreshkov has come out here with this southpaw stance, but it does open up his body to an attack with the kicks by Douglas Lima.
Inside low kick by Lima, minute gone in the opening round. Inside low kick by Koreshkov, who switches back to orthodox stance, and here we go. Cavalcade of kicks in round 1, and Koreshkov shoots, but telegraphed it, and Lima able to stuff it so far.
He's able to stuff it so far, but you've got Koreshkov is strong, able to get inside. He is on that leg. He's still in good position. He get a high crotch from here. Douglas Lima trying to open him up, get that head up a little bit higher, but he still can get him. If he gets his hips up inside, he can get him right off of his feet.
In their first meeting, Koreshkov smothering Lima with his is wrestling. In the rematch.
Nice balance by Douglas Lima.
Lima able to counter in the third round with a left hook that set up the finish. And now here is the much anticipated rubber match.
And both guys are going after. When we looked at this fight, Mauro, we talked about, look at Douglas Lima has got to attack that lead leg. He's got to do things to make Koreshkov open up. And Koreshkov has got to get those takedowns and take Douglas Lima out of range of those kicks. That's their roots to victory.
Koreshkov frustrated by the mistakes he made in the loss to Lima, shoring those up in preparation for this third meeting between former Bellator MMA welterweight champions. Koreshkov has won 8 of his last 9 with the loss coming to Lima. Lima stabs Koreshkov with a knee to the midsection. Koreshkov looking for the trip and Lima hanging on.
Lima's got a good take. He go to the double. He doesn't want to. He just decides, you know what, I'm going to clinch with you up against the fence. The one thing that we found out for a long time, Andrey Koreshkov was a striker in Bellator. All of his strike, basically never used a takedown. And then we learned when he fought Douglas Lima the first time, he has got outstanding wrestling technique, and it is hard to deal with because Douglas Lima is known as a guy that is super hard to take down.
Only 2 losses in Koreshkov's career have come against Lima and former Bellator champion Ben Askren. Koreshkov holds a title defense over former UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson here in Bellator. And what do you make of the first round thus far, John?
You know, honestly, it's exactly like I thought. When Koreshkov could get inside and could get that clinch and try for the rest of them, he needs to do that to get his victory today. And Douglas Lima needs to land those leg kicks. Doug needs to get Koreshkov off of him and off of the fence. It's okay if Doug goes for the takedown himself. He doesn't want to be in this clinch position.
Highly educated crowd in San Jose, raining down the boos. They know what these two are capable of, and they'd like to see a little more action.
And it's always so surprising when, you know, people think they know Koreshkov being this great striker. Koreshkov knows that Douglas Lima has hurt him in the stand-up. And he knows he's a great striker, but he knows that he has an advantage in this fight if he puts Douglas Lima on the ground.
Final minute of the first round, and Lima and Koreshkov jockeying for position along the fence.
Both guys trying, Josh Rosenthal's trying to give him time here, trying to let them work it out. And you see the knees coming from Koreshkov, and although, you know, a lot of people in the stands want more, those knees inside, those knees on your thighs, they add up over time and make it to where your movement is limited.
Koreshkov began training pancration and Army combat fighting when he was just 9. Made his pro MMA debut in October of 2010 and changing levels, looking for the takedown against Lima as 15 seconds are left in the first round.
There was a nice left hook landed by Koreshkov in that little exchange.
An uneventful opening round to the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix. Bell and round number 2. Koreshkov's 15th Bellator welterweight bout, the most appearances in division history. Koreshkov's 12 victories in Bellator welterweight competition, also the most in divisional history. When we talked to Douglas Lima, he said the game plan was going to be all about coming down to timing the brutal attacks of Koreshkov. And for Lima, well, he hopes his time makes a metronome envious. He wants to find that opening.
You can see Douglas is looking for it, but the one thing I would suggest if I was in Douglas Lima's corner is when Koreshkov goes to this southpaw position, not only attack that lead leg, I want you to throw hard kicks to the body. Hit that left arm. It's okay if you hit the arm. It's going to slow it down and it makes it less effective.
Lima went into their first fight with a leg injury. Not to make any excuses, the head of Bellator MMA, Scott Coker, he is watching, of course, the welterweight world Grand Prix and the race to 50 cents $1 million. Yes, the rapper putting $1 million in the pot for the winner of the Bellator MMA welterweight Grand Prix. I wonder how Chael's son and the rest of the heavyweight Grand Prix crew feel about that. Chael's like, well, where's our $1 million?
You have your own tournament. You go, why do they get $1 million? But you know what?
Oh,
50 likes the lighter guys.
Lima with the right hand on the exit. Head kick by Koreshkov, switches back to the southpaw stance.
And the reason he's switching to that southpaw stance is Douglas Lima's right leg to get that kick is going to take farther to travel. It's more opportunity for him to nullify that kick from that position, but he does open himself up to that body attack.
And when it comes to 50 Cent, it's all about getting that strap, and these two want to once again wear the Bellator MMA welterweight strap. It's currently around the waist of Rory McDonald, who is going to be challenging middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi in the main event, and there is the man with all the power.
I like what I'm seeing from Douglas Lima because he's starting to read Koreshkov. He's starting to look for those counters. He's starting to set up that timing. He can see it. Good inside leg kick.
Low kick by Lima, midpoint of the second round.
And when you see Koreshkov moving off like that, Morrow, that's telling you that leg kick, I felt it. I need to reestablish. I need to reset because I did feel it. So that shows that's being effective.
Exchange of kicks, of course, against Rory McDonald in Lima's welterweight title defense. Lima resembled Jose Aldo against Uriah Faber, attacking the legs. That, you know, it's a testament to Rory McDonald's will and his heart that he's able to survive and become welterweight champion. That title up for grabs in this tournament.
Well, if you can look at that, look at the left leg of Koreshkov. When he puts that thing forward, you can see Douglas Lima going after it, and it's already starting to mark up, and it's already starting to swell.
Lima just missed with the right uppercut, but then clipped Koreshkov with a left hook.
He's doing the same thing to Andrey Koreshkov's leg as he did to Rory McDonald's. There's already a hematoma on it, and that is going to affect Koreshkov in this fight if it continues.
It's that time of year when the leaves change color, and Koreshkov's lead leg may be doing the same thing, courtesy of Douglas Lima.
Douglas Lima's lower leg kicks are unbelievable. It's like getting hit with a Louisville Slugger. Now, the reason that Koreshkov is pushing him into the fence, he needs to stop that kick. He needs to stop the damage. You can already see, look at the hematoma already on Koreshkov's leg.
I think this crowd's still buzzing in the afterglow of the Pico KO that electrified the Shark Tank. Less than a minute left here in the second round, and a very tactical battle between Koreshkov and Lima. They find themselves against the fence, but not much in terms of any real dominance.
No, there isn't. Koreshkov is doing a good job when he gets his head inside and starts to push Lima's head away with his head, but he's not having the same ability of taking Lima down like he did before. It's obvious Lima knew he's going to try to take me down. I'm going to start working on my takedown defense, and it is actually having an effect on the fight.
Gentlemen, last round. Fight.
No, that's not correct, Mr. Rosenthal. This is round 3 of a scheduled 5 rounds. How do you have it after 2 on your unofficial scorecard, John?
Right now, I'll tell you, that's the first round that I've ever given Douglas Lima against Koreshkov. Douglas Lima won that round 10-9. I think Josh Rosenthal did that same thing with Dan Henderson against Hua, Shogun Hua, when they fought in this same building.
Another
so there's a problem.
MMA fight. So many indelible MMA memories here at the Shark Tank. Koreshkov lands the left hand as
it wasn't
Lima
the
tripped.
Exactly, it wasn't the left hand that hurt him. It was a trip of the feet. But now they're back in that same position, but Koreshkov is not having the success he's had in the past with his takedowns.
And really, Lima should not settle for this.
No, he should not. He has got to start saying, you know, I need to make this guy work and separate. I need to start causing problems, because all these little knees, if this is what happens in the fight, this is what the judges have to go off of, and they're going to give it to the guy who's trying to be offensive with those little knees when there's nothing coming from Douglas Lima at this point.
Lima, undefeated in Muay Thai competition, garnered 17 knockouts out of his 21 fights, so he's all about dynamic striking. We have not seen much of that here in this fight tonight.
You know, all of this is very technical fighting, and it's draining on you as a fighter, but it's not exciting for the crowd. But there's so much technique and so many little things that both guys are doing right now. They're just negating what each other is doing.
Well, let's talk about then what happens if this fight ends with a decision that fails to determine a winner. Let's just say there is a draw, technical draw, no contest, etc., Mr. McCarthy.
Well, since this is a tournament fight, but this is a 5-round fight, under the unified rules, you are not going to be able to have the fighters go more than those 5 rounds. So what the commission will do is, if the judges have scored this as a draw, the commission will go to those judges. Those judges will be told, I want you to pick a person to advance in the tournament. It doesn't mean that one guy wins. It's going to be a draw, but they will decide which one advances.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come down to that, as now, whoa! Koreshkov shaving Lima's head with that spinning back fist attempt that Lima just avoided. Midpoint of round 3, inside low kick by Lima. Koreshkov back to a southpaw stance, feints. Body kick by Lima, straight right hand between the guard by Lima.
And the one thing I'd want to see out of Lima right now is start opening up with a couple more shots. Don't do singles. Start to give a couple combinations of this. Hide that kick behind the hands. Make Koreshkov's hands come up and then hit that body.
Wow. Blistering body kick by Lima. Inside low kick by Lima. Now Lima beginning to find his rhythm.
Yeah, this kicking game, I'm telling you right now, the way Douglas Lima kicks, he is absolutely devastating with those kicks. Koreshkov is always going to try to close the distance if he can to stop those kicks.
And Koreshkov beginning to feel the effects of the kicks. Switching stances now back to orthodox.
And right there, that's what Douglas Lima has to do. Do not put your back on the cage. Get yourself out by that black ring.
Body kick by Koreshkov, a better outside low kick by Lima. And again, it forces Koreshkov to switch stances.
And if the one thing, if I was in Douglas Lima's corner right now, I'm telling you, I want you to move forward, pressure. Go forward slowly, but go forward.
Lima stuffs the takedown attempt by Koreshkov. Looking for Koreshkov's back now, looking for the front choke. Sprawling. Lima has 11 submission victories out of his 29. Very well versed. 13 knockout wins, 11 submission victories for Douglas Lima. And this is 37th professional fight.
Koreshkov needs to get that wrist control off. He's not gonna have a nice knee tap right there by Douglas Lima to get him back. Good job of Koreshkov to get back to the feet. But this is where Douglas Lima wants to be. Put Koreshkov's back towards the fence. You're going to have a much better success rate than putting your back like it is right now, because now you're allowing Koreshkov, when he gets that charge, put you right up into that cage with the clinch.
Koreshkov leads with the left hand of the body, wants to secure the takedown as the clock reaches the final 20 seconds of the 3rd round. Are you surprised at all the way this fight has played out, John, knowing what we knew coming in?
I am not surprised, because I knew it was going to be technical, because both of them knew exactly what they had to do.
We are headed to the penultimate round. Right now, it's round 4 in this, the opening round of the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix. Former 2-time champion Douglas Lima against former champ Andrey Koreshkov, and man, it's still anybody's fight.
It is, and one of the things that I noticed in Douglas Lima going back to his corner after the end of the round, he is not breathing hard at all. He is in shape, and he should try to start pushing the pace of this fight. Koreshkov has put a lot of energy in trying to get those takedowns. He has not been successful, and it is starting to have an effect on him.
Koreshkov in the blue gloves, Lima in the red gloves. Oh, I think they're actually to the shin area there.
Linear kick right down just below the knee.
You a fan of that, Stroke?
I am a fan of it, because you know what? It's a matter of it's pushing you back. You can deal with it. You just have to learn how to deal with it, and that's part of the martial arts.
And there was a shot just below the equator, and I'm sure that's going to, yeah, see, bring about even more moves.
Rowan, no coaching, no coaching. All right. Take a second.
Oh, yeah.
Now that, and you look and you go, what the? Why doesn't he take points? Both fighters are in motion. Douglas Lima was going for that outside kick, but Koreshkov turned, and that put him in that space where he ends up hitting the groin strike.
You good? You got time. So whenever you're ready, make sure you.
Koreshkov will have up to 5 minutes to recover.
How long we got? Okay.
Like Josh Rosenthal going, how long do we have? Oh, you've got only almost 5 minutes left. It just happened.
So if it happens again, I'm gonna have to take the point. Just so you know, okay?
Just getting started here in this Bellator welterweight Grand Prix.
Good.
As two former champions
100%.
hope
Good
to
go. All right, let's
emerge from the tournament as the Bellator welterweight champion. And what about the journey Rory McDonald's about to embark on in the main event, moving up to challenge Gegard Mousasi, and yet he already knows that he will be defending the welterweight championship, win or lose in the tournament, against John Fitch.
You know, you look, what a bold move by Rory in taking that
Fortune
fight.
favors the bold.
Fortune favors the bold. And then the one thing he knows is, no matter what happens to this fight, I have to get myself ready. I got John Fitch waiting in the wings in this welterweight tournament. Incredible.
Koreshkov lunging forward with that overhand left. Back to orthodox, now to southpaw. So Koreshkov just doing his best to try to befuddle Lima, looking for the takedown.
Really
beautifully defended by Lima.
Exactly. You look, he got deep on him. Good level change, got deep on that takedown, and Lima just bounced him off like he was a block wall. Koreshkov is having no success in the takedowns of Douglas Lima. But right here, this is where I say Douglas Lima needs to start opening up. Don't sit here and start to accept this clinch position and do these little things. Make Koreshkov work. Get in the open.
King of the streets around here. Inside knee delivered by Lima. Talk about the pace, John, because obviously these two champions have been in there a long time with each other, and obviously they know each other, and they know what's at stake. And yet, what do you want to see them do to make this a more dynamic fight?
Well, what we're seeing is exactly what I expected out of Andrey Koreshkov. I expected Koreshkov to go after this takedown because he knows he needs to put Douglas Lima down on the ground. That way it takes away all the kicks and it limits the damage that he accepts. But he hasn't been successful in this fight when he has been successful in the past. He's doing what he has been trained to do. Douglas Lima needs to start opening up when he gets Koreshkov around. Start to break off, open up with an elbow, frame out, and then open up with your striking attack in the middle of the cage.
Final 90 seconds of the fourth round, scheduled for 5. And this is the opening round of the Bellator MMA welterweight Grand Prix. Winner to face the victor of Paul Daly versus Michael Venom Page, a much anticipated grudge match.
And this is one of those fights where when the fighter goes, oh, I won that fight, it's like, no, I don't care who wins it. You're not opening up and doing things that are telling the judge, I deserve to win this fight.
We are down to the final minute of the fourth round, and Lima
nice,
on the
that's what I'm talking about. Hit with that strike, circle out, open up from the outside.
Lima ducks under the left hand from Koreshkov and then misses with the right uppercut.
Every time you see Koreshkov start to bounce, it's a timing rhythm that Lima is good at picking up and hitting with the leg kick.
Oh, nice knee by Lima. Final 30 seconds of the fourth round, and Koreshkov and Lima still trying to solve each other's puzzle. Both recording wins against the other. They exchanged the Bellator welterweight championship. And we are coming down. Oh, right hand that stunned Koreshkov momentarily by Lima. And Lima now attacking Koreshkov in the final seconds of the fourth.
All right, gentlemen, let's do this.
The bell in the 5th and a final round in this battle of former Bellator welterweight champions to kick off the Bellator MMA welterweight Grand Prix. According to Big John's unofficial scorecard, Lima is ahead by 2 points, which would indicate that Koreshkov would need a finish in order to advance to the semifinals. Koreshkov was very impressed by Lima's performance against Rory McDonald, and he told us that he wasn't going to rush in and try to finish him right away, because that's how well he was able to catch him the last time. But now is the time. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. Someone needs to impose their will and skill on the other, John.
Well, there comes a point where your corner should be at least having an idea of, that's a close round, or we lost that round. And in this situation, they should be telling Koreshkov, you need to open up, you need to go after it.
Lima told us the trilogy fights, of course, are special. They've spent a lot of time in the cage together. He can't wait to finish this chapter off. He's come in ready. Says it's time to perform, and now is the time.
And now that you see Koreshkov going backwards, he is telling you all of that energy, all of that damage is starting to take effect. Douglas Lima moving forward is a bad thing for Andrey Koreshkov.
Left hook, right uppercut, right hand, left hook by Lima. No question, Lima is getting the better of the two fighters in the striking exchange, but the exchanges and even the delivery, few and far between, John.
Absolutely. You know, you look at everyone knows Koreshkov as an elite striker, but in every one of their fights, in the striking department, Douglas Lima has been the guy that's gotten the better of the exchanges.
1-2 combination scores for Lima. Koreshkov on his back foot, out of the southpaw stance, now back to orthodox. Lima feints with the leg kick. Left hook just grazed. Koreshkov with the right hand landed.
Yeah, we got a real problem with our movement ability of Koreshkov. His legs are getting heavy and he's having a hard time moving, which is setting him up for that attack.
So win or lose, we won't be seeing any ballroom dancing from Koreshkov.
And you know what? There's got to be something about ballroom dancing. Koreshkov is one hell of a striker, and you got a guy like Vasily.
Lima now attacking Koreshkov on the ground, getting his back, dropping those right hands. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the fight. Lima wanting to finish it here in the 5th.
Lima utilizing a really good hip ride on top of Koreshkov's hip, being heavy and just picking away with the strikes.
Lima gets the hooks in. Now looking for the rear and choke on Koreshkov.
He's in trouble. He is in trouble, Moro.
Koreshkov has never been submitted.
He's pulling on the wrong arm. He's going to go out. He's out.
He is out. Not only in the fight, but out of the tournament. Douglas Lima, in dramatic fashion, scores his 12th submission victory, and he advances to the semifinals of the Bellator MMA welterweight Grand Prix.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a rear naked choke in time, it comes to an end officially. 3 minutes, 4 seconds into the 5th and final round. The winner by submission, and now advancing in the $1 million welterweight World Grand Prix, Douglas the Phenom Lima.